Have you ever wondered why?
When?
How much?
What if?
Well, you're in luck, because you're listening to the Hypotheticast.
Three best buds.
On a mission.
To ask all the questions?
And get all the answers.
I was born with both guns blazing, and I do think I'm amazing. You got the dignity to feel a little about yourself. I don't care what your preacher says. I got my own vicious ways. Only got one command and it goes, I'm killing it. I'm killing it.
Welcome to the Hypotheticast.
Hi.
Hi, Emily. My name is David. I'm here.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, Emily.
I knew that
My
he was
name
going to
is-
be jealous that I didn't have to say my
yeah.
own name, so I had to.
I was going to be
out.
jealous?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really
That's very
mad.
considerate.
Yeah. David
Yeah.
helped me out. I'll help you out, Mike.
Thanks.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm Mike.
This week, we're in the deep pit of this 5-episode series about senses. And this week's sense is...
Sight.
Hooray.
Sight.
It's like
It's sight.
seeing, seeing with eyes.
Yes.
That. Sight, not like www.eyes.com.
Website.com.
That website.com. I bet that's a site. Please
Yeah.
go to it right now. Mike can get a virus.
Are you sure? Okay.
Yes, I'm sure.
Great. Cool. Sight.
it should be fun.
That's a big one.
It's a big one. I have terrible eyes. Just like, making it personal. Got glasses, astigmatism. My eyes are little footballs and they're only going to get worse.
Oh.
Yeah, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, website.com is just a place where you can make your own website. It's
That makes sense.
the most boring version of that. I was hoping I'd find something on the deep web.
Website.com would be a pretty easy portal to the deep web. But hey, you can help.
Hide it in plain sight.
Yeah, no one would think of that. Too easy.
Deep.web. Try that.
Mike, how are your eyes?
Average.
Yeah?
I tried contacts for a week and I
Yeah.
didn't like touching my eyeball.
Yeah, I can't.
I
My
hated
eyes are
it.
too sensitive. I would never be able to.
But so I've just worn glasses ever since.
But you have to wear glasses to function.
But yeah, a while ago I had to legally put on my driver's license that I have to wear glasses to drive. But for a while, when I first got glasses, it was just to the movies, to the opera,
Yeah.
to do
Right, to the
sniper
opera.
shooting. That was
Yeah.
what I'd wear glasses for.
That's pretty much what I have mine for. Night driving, movies,
Yeah,
plays.
night driving.
I really should watch them or should wear them to watch TV. Where I sit on the couch is kind of far away from our TV, and Tanner gets annoyed when I'm like, wait, what does that piece of paper say? That clearly is a plot point that I can't read that they're holding up.
Maybe you can get you can buy a magnifying glass for books. They have specific ones for that. Get a big magnifying glass to just attach to your TV.
Yeah.
And you can magnify
good.
the whole screen for you to see better.
Yeah. Or just
a
move the
good
TV
idea.
really close to where you sit.
Yeah, I mean, it's also just that they're kind of in opposite corners of the room. My corner of the couch.
My corner. Maybe Tanner should share his corner.
No, my corner is better.
Oh,
Did you get assigned a corner, or how did that
No,
go down?
so we got one of those.
When you buy a house,
we
they
got one of
give you
those
a corner.
couches that has the chaise attached.
Yeah. Like a
And
L.
it's best if I'm on that part because my legs are shorter. So
Aw.
I can be laying on the chaise part, and then he can have the rest of the long couch for his long body.
He is so long.
He's pretty long.
It's he's such a bean. Just
Such a bean. I'm sure
such
he'll
a
love that.
bean.
Do we have anything else we need to say about the sense of sight before we dive in?
No, I think we all know what looking is.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's dive into
Let's
our
go.
first segment.
It's you. What's our first segment, Emily?
Our first segment is Would You Rather?
Yes.
It's a big one.
Thank goodness.
Would You Rather is a game where I will present two deceptively simple options, and we will all have to choose which one we would prefer.
Cool.
I'm going to start with one from Nissa Nordland. If your vision was color tinted, would you rather it be rose or blue?
Rose.
Blue.
Done. Next
Done.
question.
Okay. Good.
Oh, okay. Should have saved that one
hold
for
on,
no
hold
questions
on.
asked.
No.
Rose in one eye, blue in the other eye. So permanent 3D vision. Permanent 3D.
Permanent
3D vision.
That's what
Wow.
I want. I want to be able to reach out and just touch
You
stuff.
want to be able to see things in three
Three
dimensions?
dimensions.
Ambitious, Mike. I don't know if it can be done.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
No, rose would be cool, I think. Blue feels cold to me. It feels a little bit... I'm not quite sure, but it doesn't feel as natural of a tone.
I wonder if they would actually influence mood.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you never know.
I feel like rose, even though I probably prefer the color blue overall, I wonder if, I know it's like a cliche, but I wonder if that tint would be more cheerful.
It would certainly be softer.
Colors do influence your mood. Is pink's supposed to be a calming color, right?
I think
Rose
so,
is a
because of
gentle one.
that pink drunk tank thing. What is that?
What?
Yeah.
There's
Is it pink?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's it's I don't remember, but there's a book with that title, and it's referring to a study that was done where, I don't know if it was like a police station or something like that, or someplace painted the rooms where they would put aggressive drunk people to chill out pink because it was supposed to be calming.
Okay.
Did it
And
work?
it worked?
I guess. I don't know why they would have named a book after it if it didn't.
They also painted a bunch of rooms blue, and those people destroyed the room.
Blue is
They were
also
so
calming,
mad.
though. I just feel like it's calming in a sadder way.
Sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And I think that's cinematically informed. Like, I think when I see a movie and it has blue tint, it's either cold, it's like an Arctic thing, or it's sad in some way.
A lot of stores and restaurants use red because it's gets you amped, gets you hyped up to spend money and eat a lot.
Yeah. And pink gets me just to feel nice and to enjoy the world. So I want that.
I wonder why. Red is the color of danger and excitement, right?
Yeah.
Well, it is, because it's
I think it's adrenaline or something.
Well, it is. It's red is warning. It's fire and blood. But pink is a shade of red.
It is.
I think it gets me excited in a nice way.
Nice,
It's
excited.
I can't wait to go home and drink a cup of tea and snuggle. That's what rose-colored world is to me.
Sure.
This next one is from Corey DiNardo. Would you rather your eyes be in your armpits so you'd have to hold your arms up to see, or right next to your genitals?
My eyes are either in my armpits, so I have to hold my arms up to see, or right next to my genitals.
I mean, armpit eyes. I don't want to have to commit a sex crime to see things.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's just me.
Yeah.
Not the whole world.
not
If it was
society.
the whole world, then that would just be where eyes were.
Yeah, that wouldn't change
But
it.
if it was just me, I mean, the armpit eye thing, here's the interesting thing about that.
Uh-oh.
Those eyes, you got full range of vision, like an owl.
Oh, sure. You could see on
Or a
both
fish.
sides.
You can see on both sides of you, not just the stupid front-facing faces like we have right now.
So dumb.
You got 180 vision on each eye.
Yeah.
You just hold up that arm,
So nice.
take a look, and you can see
Take a
everything
look.
around you. Any predators that are behind or in front of you are going to get caught.
But your arms would get so tired.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Your arms would get tired.
so
you get
tired.
ripped.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you
hold
get
up-
ripped.
But they'd also
all right,
fall
dead air
asleep.
for 5 minutes while Mike holds up his arm and gets tired.
All right, I'm going to do it.
Now
I'm
we
holding
wait.
up one arm. Just so everyone knows, right now, I'm holding up one arm. We're timing this segment, so I'll let you know how long it's
Yeah,
lasted.
perfect. Okay. This is great. I love it.
But if your arm doesn't get tired, let's say you
Yeah.
figured out a way to strap your arms up or something, they would fall asleep.
Oh, no.
So either way, it's not going to be
You
ideal.
could use
Finger
your arms.
exercises
You need
to keep the
use
blood
those.
flowing.
What if you need to reach something that's below where
Well,
you
then
can
you put
see?
one arm down.
But sometimes people need to grab something
All
with
right,
both arms.
look.
Carrying a box. You can't see.
I'm not saying it
I'm just
doesn't require
scared for
significant
you.
adjustment.
Yeah.
However, argue for me.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
are you watching things when your
Okay,
eyes are
I
next to
will.
your?
Yeah,
Your
I
bits.
can too. Go ahead, Emily.
I feel like you could have pants specially made.
Exactly.
Okay.
Special pants.
Okay, I understand that, but
And people would be a little freaked.
Yeah, they would
There's
be
like two
really
little
freaked.
holes
They would
next
be
to my
very
genitals.
freaked.
But I'd rather have people be freaked and they'd be like, "It's cool. I got cursed by a weird witch. I got these eyes down here by my genitals." Than be tired all the time or not be able to see while I was carrying
sounds
things.
selfish.
Also,
It
I
is
feel
selfish.
I
Sounds
actually
very
feel like that would
selfish.
look. It could be more of a subtle look than eyeballs in your armpits.
You'd freak some people
Those
out by being
everybody
like,
would
subtle
see
look.
immediately.
like, it's nice to see you, and you just throw your hands up in the air, and they're like, "Wow, oh, there's armpits in there." Well, there are eyes in those armpits. That's what I meant.
I do think though that in order for you to look at stuff, think of the postures your body would have to make.
Yeah, people would call on you all the time too, Mike. because you look like you have a question right now.
Yeah, I don't care. I would rather have
Right.
them call on me than think I'm a sex
think
criminal.
Yeah, but you could explain it pretty
I
quickly.
don't know.
Maybe
If it's
it's
just
better-
you, if it's just you, that's not a
Yeah.
universal thing. If someone's like, a wizard cursed me,
But
they'd
you
be
also,
like,
you
I don't
clearly do
think
not
that's
have eyes in
true.
your head. Like in the scenario, my eyes are not, they have not, but they have been moved.
Yeah.
So it's very clear that I do not have eyes on my face, which is also weird. So I think people would not be like, oh, I think his pelvis is a little thrust. They'd be like, that person has no eyes.
But
something
here's the
weird's
thing.
going on here.
Here's the thing. In Would You Rather Land,
Yeah.
this question is not a universal thing. It's just something that happened to just
Yeah.
you. So things like this, even if they do accept, oh, that's where his eyes really are, they're not going to want to talk to you very much.
Sure.
They're not going to want to be like,
You might be right.
Because when you talk to people, you want to look in their eyes. Your eyes show you. They show you. And if someone is wanting to talk to you, they got to look down right by your junk.
Yeah, well,
and they
maybe
might not want to do
maybe
that.
some people like looking at my
I mean,
junk.
granted, I guess it's also hard to look in an eye that's in an armpit.
in an armpit
But I've had
is
my arm up
kinda-
now for
kinda
like
gross.
3 minutes, and
Yeah.
I'm doing great.
You're doing
so
great.
it's really fun.
It's really fun.
I really love that this experiment is actually happening. I feel like I will take some of your points, Mike. I think it would be easier for me as a woman to have that situation,
Which one?
the genitals one.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just going to be less if someone sees a strange man like thrusting his hips at things.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to thrust my. I can turn
but,
my
to be,
body.
but to be able to see things, you have to hold it up close to stuff and like
No,
hold
I
up.
can
hold,
have glasses.
Hold books up to
You'll
them.
be like,
and,
yeah, like holding like a newspaper up.
You're like trying to read
Your phone.
Like, what is that man doing on that bench?
I'm like more sold
Your
now.
phone is like aimed at your crotch.
yeah, exactly.
I just think
exactly.
that like people are more likely to see. I'm sorry,
that's
David.
so
I
weird.
think you're super cool
Yeah.
and not at all creepy.
Thanks.
Actually, maybe you'll be sad that I don't find you creepy,
No,
but
I'm
I
glad
don't,
you don't.
at
I don't
all.
actually want to be creepy. I want to be scary. That's
Great. That's right. That's right. I don't think that you are, but I do think that like if we both had this condition,
Yeah.
I would have an easier time not scaring people.
Sure, that's
Yeah.
probably true. Yeah,
Yeah.
because your body is perceived as less aggressive.
Yes.
for
yes.
real reasons.
And actually, like specifically, my genitals and crotch area are perceived as less dangerous and aggressive. So that situation would probably be easier for me. How's your arm doing, Mike?
It's feeling cold.
Oh, weird. That's because all the blood is
draining
rushing.
out of
Yeah.
Oh, it's been what, 4 minutes now?
Almost 5.
You got this, bud.
Let's do another question here.
Yeah.
This is from Phil
What can
Hilla.
we make Mike do with this question?
Would you rather have night vision that you can activate anytime or 20 times, I don't know if that's the right way to say this,
Yeah, I think so.
sniper scope vision where your eyes could zoom into something miles away?
Miles away.
Yeah, zoom.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I
Zoom.
feel like that would be more useful.
Yeah, night vision like has its uses. Like I can see liking it. Like I don't have to turn on a light when I go in a dark space. I could get better at caves.
Yeah, I feel like
could go
if
on
you
more
had
adventures.
a specific hobby
Yeah.
that could use night vision, but
Right.
like as it stands, I can usually just turn on a light.
Yeah, right. Like we have light to like help us normal people
Yeah.
not need that. But to be able to just zoom in on something that is miles away.
That's
are you
crazy.
kidding me? That sounds
I feel
so
like
cool.
it would be really hard to find.
Yeah. That's true.
You'd be a skill you'd have to hone.
Yeah.
Right, because I'd be like, oh, I wonder what's going on. I wonder what the weather's like
Right.
in this area. But then, like, or no, weather would even be easier because it could
Yeah.
be more generalized. But like, if I wanted to see, like,
Like how long is the line at the bank right now? And you
Yeah.
look, but then you're like 1 millimeter off, so you actually like look in someone's bedroom and you're
Right.
like, oh no, I'm so sorry.
Wait, I'm really curious. Like these examples you guys brought up, like the line at the bank, you can't see through walls.
but maybe there's windows at a bank. I don't know.
Like,
maybe it's an outside bank.
well, but no, that's true.
the
There's going to
problem.
be like other things in your
Suspend
way.
your disbelief.
I've really
Mike.
wondered. Like that's the first problem you would solve is that bank line. How
I
long
was just
is?
thinking of lines. You gotta say things. I'm not sitting here thinking for a half hour about the perfect line.
Well, you could. Your spot on the couch should be fine. You'd be able to look at
Yeah.
that TV.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Because it doesn't have to be 20 times.
Oh,
You can
and
just
like,
go,
here's
just
a
little
really
bit.
practical one.
Yeah.
Concerts.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't
So
matter
like,
where you're
if
standing.
you get like the more reasonably
So
priced
nice.
Beyonce tickets, it's still gonna feel like you're
$500
right there.
Beyonce tickets. You could go to a drive-in movie, park far away, and look at it with your vision.
It'd be cool. Yeah.
And
Not
tune
hear
in.
it.
You
There's
could
just
tune
a-
your radio
yeah, it's
into
great.
the
Yeah.
station.
Driving in general would actually be easier because you could be like, where's my exit? And you'd be able to find it and know like, oh, we're good. I'm okay. Like you could look farther ahead than the human eye could to be able to read signs and know like, oh, okay, that's going to be my exit coming up. I need to be in this lane rather than this lane. Avoid a lot of accidents.
You got to be careful though.
Why?
Because like if you're looking at one specific part of the road, you're missing a whole bunch of other parts.
Yeah.
So you'd have to be very vigilant.
Don't get too distracted.
Yeah, don't ever look at anything.
Well,
while you
I mean, no,
drive.
it's true though. Like billboards are actually, especially like animated billboards, are dangerous.
Seems pretty dangerous, right?
Like I think they've done studies.
Yeah, like,
at least
I don't
my
know how
mom was
those are,
talking
like,
about it once.
cool
Like
to
it's
do.
bad because it draws people's attention for longer than is safe.
Yeah. Why are those allowed to exist?
Because they're
I can't
fun.
use a phone.
They're so fun.
I can't use a phone, but there's a giant phone up there that's playing a
Right.
cool video for me, and I'm supposed to look at it. Don't kill
Mike,
me.
your
insurance.
arm is making me anxious.
I'm
I told you.
excited.
I'm going to see if I can go through this segment.
Yeah,
it's
well,
not
it's
turning
almost
color or
over.
anything.
Well, yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
No,
with
just
that.
because you're
pretty
worried about my
purple.
arm.
I think your
I don't
fingers
know.
are black. Whoa, buddy.
Yeah, right.
Oh no.
I just feel
It's too
like I
bad you-
know that it's uncomfortable and I don't like it.
Wait. No, you could still figure it out. I just realized that it would be really hard to look at your fingers if you if your eye was in
Yeah,
your
well, I mean, you
armpit.
could hold it
But
up
you
to
could,
the other armpit.
Yeah, you could figure it out. I realized that it would be okay, but I was
Yeah.
like, oh, there's so many things that are harder to see if your eye is in a pit.
I mean, it would be you couldn't look at your armpit, which you already can't do. So
Yeah, you're right. What, you're missing
you
out.
could use a mirror
I look at my armpits.
in the mirror.
No.
You can see them.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
I can see it right
Yeah.
now.
What?
I mean,
can
I
see it
shave
right
them
now.
I can look at it.
Yeah,
in the
you can-
shower.
Oh, I guess it turns. Oh, you know what?
I mean,
Turns
it's not like a head-on view, but like I can see them enough to shave them.
You could, I guess, shaving your armpits would be a little harder if your
Yeah, it
eyeballs
would
were in
be.
there.
Oh,
I can put my hand down
that's
if it
great.
will. If this is
how
making
many
you-
minutes did you do?
It's almost 10.
Almost 10
Oh,
minutes.
no, let's do 10. We got to get to 10.
Oh my God. Mike's arm
Yeah,
is
I
going to
can
fall
see
off.
so many things.
Yeah, you got to
With
look
my
for
arm.
10 whole minutes.
Yeah, look out of my arm. Okay.
You would definitely have to have
It's
like a
down.
sling for movie watching or something, right? Like you'd have
I mean, you'd have to have some sort of hat where you
rig
could
something.
strap your arms up
Yeah.
so that you can.
Yeah,
not-
well, you could do this.
You just always look like you were very casual.
Doing good.
Mike, take us away now that you've put down your arm.
A full 10 minutes, and I was ready to go even longer.
I was ready to go.
But I didn't want to make you
What a hero.
uncomfortable. Here on the Hypotheticast, we have a multitude of segments. The next one is called The Meat. It's sandwiched in between our other segments because we really like to fill the episode with a deeper question that we debate or just expound upon. Today's topic is sight or vision. And the specific question, I came up with a lot of details to describe the scenario so that we could get creative based on the limitations presented.
Yeah.
You have been given the gift of a pair of magic goggles from a wizard scientist.
My favorite kind of person.
Yes. And she explains to you that the goggles work as such. You can use them to view through the eyes of another person, living or dead, throughout all of history or even into the future.
What?
You just have to picture in your mind the person that you want to view. And also you have to speak aloud a specific date in history. So you get
Oh,
to
no,
view
that's
through their
gonna be a
eyes
problem for
for
me.
one whole day. Now you don't have to view them the whole day. Like you can put them down, but they
Okay.
only work for that 24-hour period. So you're able to
cool.
watch whatever happened in that person's life for that 24 hours. You have no control over it. It's not a mind control device. It's not a time travel device. It's a time viewing device, I guess we'll say,
Yeah.
where you can watch just the events unfold of whatever that person was present for.
From their perspective.
From their perspective.
Cool.
And
oh, yes.
sight is the only sense that is
Yeah,
transferred
you're not
to these
hearing
goggles.
anything. You're just
Yeah,
seeing
that's what
through
I
their
thought too.
eyes. So you are seeing whatever it is at any point in time,
Okay.
anyone, but you're only seeing.
Okay.
You can use them up to 3 times.
Oh, thanks.
If you want to think of a few different
But
scenarios.
and then they expire.
And then they blow
Oh
up.
no! Oh, that
In a
just
very
made me
small,
very
controlled
anxious.
explosion.
No, now it's like I have
you
to make
gotta
the
be
right choices.
very deliberate.
Oh
Yeah,
no, I hate
you can't
it.
just use it every day.
Oh no!
And if you pick the wrong person, and you only got 2 more chances.
exactly,
Or if you get
I
wrong
pick the wrong
person.
day,
The wrong
I'm like, I
day.
really want to go back to George Washington's cool battle and see that, and then it's like he's just asleep all day because he's sick. It's like, great, thanks George. History was
Martha,
wrong.
my teeth hurt. There would.
So I'm going to pick Martha Washington making George Washington's wooden teeth all day.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think that's what my first choice is, Martha Washington.
And just to be clear, what they look like is like a pair of swimming goggles.
Just swimming goggles.
They're not
and you
fancy
put 'em
looking,
on.
but they do work, I promise.
Lizard scientists are not concerned with aesthetics. Okay, so I had two initial thoughts. My first thought is Jesus on the cross.
Whoa.
And I'm not really sure why I want to
Wow.
experience that day. But
Okay.
almost all historical questions like this make me want to go back to a day where everybody says something really important happened and see if it did the way it actually said it happened. Like, I'm not being like, did they really hurt you that much, Jesus? Like, I don't care about that. Like, that's not what I'm worried about. I could even be like one of the guards nailing Jesus to the cross or something like that. But I'm curious about the historical Jesus because there maybe is no other historical figure that is more nebulous and debated than that dude.
Sure.
Like, who was that dude for real? Like, what if I went back and I was like, I'm getting in Jesus's body and seeing through his eyes, and he was just like playing backgammon all day, and it was just a guy that was like a carpenter, and people had made up the story, or it really was him and he was getting nailed to the cross, but it was because he was like a car thief or something.
A car thief?
I think they didn't have cars, but maybe
thief.
like
Or
a chariot
backgammon.
thief. Like, new video game idea pitch, chariot theft auto. Wait. Grand
You
Theft Chariot.
changed the wrong word.
Nope, I'm sticking with it. Chariot Theft Auto.
So-
but you know what I mean? Like,
But
I'd
here's
like
the
to see
thing
if it
about
was
the
real.
day you pick
Yeah.
is if it's when he's on the cross, like
Yeah.
you would just see him die, wouldn't you?
Maybe it's the day he gets crucified. He gets nailed to it.
So you just want to see if that happened.
Yeah. I don't care. And then my second one is going to be when he's in the tomb.
You're using them all on Jesus,
yeah, they're all
huh?
on Jesus.
Wow.
And then the third one is when he's in heaven because I want to see what heaven
I
looks
mean,
like.
that actually, I feel like we can like take turns here,
Yeah.
but I do want to say that's something I thought of is
like three
not
separate
Jesus in particular, but
No.
that 5 Minutes in Heaven kid or whatever that thing was
Todd
called.
Burpo.
Yeah,
be
not
like,
the one
okay.
that said he made it up already, but like,
No,
but
the
like
other one.
be like someone who's had a famous
Yeah.
afterlife experience.
Yes.
Easier than an ancient historical figure like from mythology to pinpoint an actual date.
Yeah.
Because if
True.
you
That'd be
did
a
some research,
problem.
you could
Yeah.
try. But if you're just shooting in the dark and you're like, maybe it was 2,000 years ago around then, you might not get it.
Yeah, it's just the top of a coffin.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, damn it.
But like if it's someone who says, I saw this, I mean, granted, like it's almost definitely just going to be like
Like a hallucination.
nothing.
of some
But it
kind.
is. But
Could
that's
still be interesting to see.
This is something interesting this question brings up.
Yeah.
Sight, we tend to think of it as being empirical. Like you see something,
Right.
that's what's real.
Yeah.
And yet there are things that people see that they debate on.
Yeah.
Like when you read about the way eyewitness testimony works, it is not actually that
Yeah.
reliable.
No.
People remembering even just a day or two later what they saw during a specific event.
Yep.
You are not as
Wrong.
good as you think you
No.
are. So it would be interesting to see like what did someone
Yeah.
see if they're seeing the afterlife or a ghost or something. Which granted,
Right.
that's also something I'm like it's just playing into I think what we're most interested in, which is like me. I'm like I want to solve some mysteries. Like that guy
Yeah.
that said they saw Bigfoot. Like
Right.
what were they really
Yep.
seeing?
Yep.
Like what did they actually see?
Yeah, going to John Benet Ramsey's body.
See,
going to
that's-
Dyatlov Pass.
You
Go-
just took
No.
my answer. That's
But,
my
like,
first answer. Like
solving true crimes
True
that are
crime is the
unsolved.
first place that
Yep.
my brain goes because those are the things that are like, especially true crimes from. I mean, there's interesting, really old ones too, but ones that are from a time where it's like it's so frustrating to me when there's one where it's just like we are never gonna know. When it's just like. I mean, it was probably somehow bungled by law enforcement or
Those
whatever, you know what I
bunglers.
mean? But it's not like, oh, this one missing piece is all we need. It's like
Right.
the person who did that probably is a person that we all know or who has been involved in the case in
Yeah.
some ways. But like, I don't know. Most people think that we will probably never find out.
with John Benet
I'm
Ramsey.
specifically talking about John Benet Ramsey.
Is that what you
Just
were
'cause it's
thinking
like,
specifically?
That's kind of the first one that popped into my head, but just because that's like such a huge example that like
Yeah.
everybody knows. There's also one, it's a little girl who,
It's a degree.
yeah, it's the one who got up in
Yeah.
the middle of the night
Yeah.
and packed a backpack and left her house, and a trucker claims that he like saw her walking along the road and tried to like slow down and be like, are you okay? And it was cold. And then she like ran off in the woods and they found her backpack. but like,
But never found her.
No, and this is a case. If you frequent a mysterious disappearance forums like Emily and I do, it's a case that comes up often because it's interesting in that there's no murder suspects. There's no evidence of it being a murder or even an abduction. Like no one even saw her with another person, and her family seems to be on the up and up. Like it seems like they didn't.
There's no like fishy things that came up upon looking into it, but it's also like, why did this little girl like leave and not just like go outside to play or try to go to a friend's house? She was like walking down like a busy road.
But it was like 3 a.m.
Yeah, middle of the night.
Okay. But
like
still,
really,
that's wild. So you want to get in that head?
Yeah, like or one like that. Probably I would like do some research and I don't know if I'd want to spend all of my 3 Goggle times on that though. But the problem is so many of the other things, like older things, I would want more sensory experience than just sight. The thing about sight is that I would want it to be something where like there's a specific reason why seeing that thing would be cool.
Yeah, maybe like the first performance of Hamlet or something as like the lead actor could be cool.
Except that you wouldn't be able to hear it, which
in
would
the
be
globe. It would just be interesting to like see what theater was like back then.
So you actually took
I can't really get a picture of it.
And this is maybe calling into question how exactly this invention works. But I thought about like seeing the first human animal creating a piece of art. Like what is that?
Yeah, that's
what is that? What would I
to
see? Like, and that's the thing is that if they work as such, they have to pick a date.
Yeah.
Probably can't do that.
Right.
But that would be a fascinating thing to see.
Yeah. I thought about that too. I was like, what about the birth of civilization? That's always interesting.
You could take I have in my armchair Wikipedia research of history, like looked up like earliest works of art, and there are things like a famous pebble that looks like a face, and they found it in a place where there is no other rocks like that, so it was clearly brought there.
Cool.
And it was found near these, like, it's not monkey or human, it's one of the in-between ones. Don't remember the official name of it, but there's like bones nearby, so it was clear that like somehow this thing probably brought this thing here, and it was probably done, like it was clearly carried from a long distance. So it seems like it's a record of a creature noticing that it has a face.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
seeing that as being significant.
Yeah, they're like noticing a self image. So
it's like being in that being's body, though. It would be cool, I guess. But
yeah,
it also
like,
might not be
it's
that
also like I
interesting.
might just be like, oh yeah, they picked up this pebble. Like, so maybe that's not the best use.
Or it could be great because it could be like an alien came and gave them that pebble and then went away, and now you have proof of aliens.
That's probably
I think
not
like making great pieces of art. I thought about that too. Maybe, but maybe they wouldn't look that different than just looking at pictures of them now do. Yeah. I don't know. What about someone who's been to outer space?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that would be cool.
First walk on the moon would be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be a cool thing to just get the like
idea.
Not grainy footage of, but like real eyeballs.
Yep. And then you go out of the movie studio and it's Stanley Kubrick and they're like shaking hands. And it's like, oh yeah, that's
right. Busting those myths.
Yeah, no, the moon would be awesome. I would love to see the Earth in any way from space without having to go to space. Because the feeling and sound of being in space, that'd be cool. But the sight of it, I think, is the best sense in space. So I'm into that. That's a really good idea.
I do hope, and this is more of a real request than this fictional one, but I love the Planet Earth series and like the beautiful way they can film stuff, because it really makes it feel fresh and new. And I'm hoping for, even though I don't think we're going to live on Mars or the moon in my lifetime, I feel like they could get some amazing cameras up there to be like, here's what the inside of the rings of Saturn look like. Like, I feel like that's possible. Like, I mean, we can't actually be there maybe, but to be able to like see that stuff in a like beautiful 4K Ultra HD, I mean, that's the best that our home theaters
we'll have
can
so
do.
many Ks at that point.
Yeah, lots of
Ks.
Gosh, this is so challenging because like I want to do like for sure one mystery solving.
Yep.
Like a big mystery. And then like space seems cool. But yeah, I'm struggling with the third because it's like it's the just sight thing, because otherwise I would pick like some amazing performance from the past that I'll never get to see, but it would be really a bummer to not be able to hear.
Yeah. Maybe the best mime performance.
I'm okay. I feel like I've seen some pretty
best
good mime
shadow
and
play.
I'm good.
Yeah, I had similar thought because, like, yeah, I want to solve some mysteries and rewrite history, but like,
DuckTales.
I don't.
Ooh.
I mean, because I came up with this question, I gave these goggles the power to see the future.
Yeah.
So I think
We
I
haven't
would.
done that
I
yet.
would just say
Oh, sure.
anyone who happens to be alive 1,000 years from now.
Right. That's
Just
a
show
nice
that to
one.
me.
Yeah.
And
Future Jesus.
I just want to see what that is. I will say, given that I can't pick a specific person, just seeing one person's point of view, like I could be seeing from the Morlock's point of view, but then there's also the Eloi out there, so I'm not necessarily getting what the entire world is like. Like maybe I'm seeing through a guy who lives in an underground bunker, but really Earth is fine.
Yeah.
And he just is scared and
He
living
just likes to
underground.
live in a bunker.
Or like somebody.
He's bunker boy.
Yeah. So, but just to see anything that's happening.
So, like, if you don't know the specific person's name, you have to say a date. Do you have to, or could you say like a geographic location?
Yeah. So I guess I was thinking about this and I was like, because I wanted to be able to like not have to say exactly the person, to be like, I want to see this time, maybe just someone from this time. That's why I think like you have to picture in your mind the person. So if you were picturing someone from this, just like a person alive, then I guess the goggles will guide you to that person.
Sure. It'll just be a bigger net. You're like, I'm picturing a normal human being.
Sure, yeah.
And
or
maybe if they don't exist in 4,000 years or 1,000 years or whatever, then the goggles will be like, sorry, there's no one there.
Does not compute.
And you'll be like, oh, I just learned a secret
See,
without
that's the
having
thing
to
about-
use one of my viewings.
Like, so space, solve a mystery, those would be very satisfying experiences.
Yeah.
Future does feel like a good idea to like,
it might
if
just
you
be
had the
so
option
tailored.
just to get like, but it could also be like very depressing.
Yeah, or just frustrating because you might be like,
Yeah.
oh, I picked someone who was in jail. Like it would have been so much
Sure.
better if I picked someone who was like a part of
a
society.
boring
Or just, but
jail.
also you don't have any agency. So you
Yeah.
would see like glimpses of things and be like, is that a TV built
But you
into
can't go
the
back.
tree that's the
Yeah.
government watching me? But you can't be
Tree-view?
like, wait, let me inspect this to figure
Right.
out
Oh,
what's
that'd be so
actually.
frustrating.
You just see glimpses like, oh, are those human slaves in that person's backyard?
Yeah.
Like, I don't
There's
know.
a bunch of clones
you can't
of
really
myself.
like, it's just a glimpse at the whim of whoever this
Yeah.
person is. But I do feel like if you have the chance.
You gotta.
I mean, you could also, it doesn't have to be the far future. You could be like through your own eyes 10 years
Yeah.
from now.
That'd be
You
cool.
know,
Oh,
like,
I feel like that would fuck me up though
that'd
too
get
much.
real
Yeah.
weird.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Or I want to look at someone who's winning the lottery next year.
That doesn't
like
sound
see
like a
through their
specific
eyes.
person.
Someone
A person
watching
in
the
the future
TV
that-
while
yeah.
the
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the
numbers are
key. They have
called.
to be
Yeah.
watching the TV. The worst part would be if you like picked that person, you were like, all right, here we go. And then they were like, oh, I'm going to go make some popcorn. And they like turned away from the TV as it was displaying the numbers. God, there are so many ways in which the human agency that you lack is so frustrating. I mean,
Yeah.
which is why I'm more interested in seeing people that I know saw specific things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, at least I got that. Like, at least I know that I'm going to witness. The other thought that I had was Tesla. I want to see like just a day in his life of inventing. Like, and I don't know how I would pick that. I would have to do some research about his life. But I just want to see what his lab looked like and like all the stuff that he made and whether or not he actually did make all the things that people rumor he made. Because it's like, oh yeah, he was just flying around on electric hoverboards and stuff. I'm like, well, maybe. Let's see what was really there. Basically, I want to debunk, I think, is what I want to
That's
do with my goggle time. Jesus, Tesla, guy in prison in 3,000 years.
Guy in
That's my
prison.
big three.
This is not related to that invention, but just the idea of things you might see in the future. Like, do you think people in like 500 years will have like Renfests, but about us?
I
And what
hope
do you
so.
think they're going to do?
Yeah. Millenfests.
Millenfests.
I do like the idea of a Millenfest where everybody's just like, oh, text me, ha ha ha, and like running around like, look at these physical phones that we have, boopity boop boop.
Take
Like,
a selfie.
Yeah.
They survived with the crushing weight of student debt.
Hi, it's me, David, and it's time for the Would You Blanket. That's the part of the show where we ask a question to one person. That person is Mike.
Hello.
And once they answer yes or no, we alternate. Emily and I will alternate, making the situation more or less appealing depending on what we want Mike to do and depending on how Mike is answering. So this week, the blank is filled with the word see. Surprise. Would you see it? The senses are great for these because
Yep.
they are
the verb is given
verbs.
to us.
Like, it's awesome. I love it. We should just do more verbs. Would you see it? So, Mike, you've been hanging out with this new person. Their name is Patrick.
Okay.
They're pretty cool. They like a lot of the same things you like.
Okay.
You're becoming friends, like board games, like movies.
Sure.
But you don't really know them very well. You're just kind of becoming friends with them.
Okay.
And they, one afternoon, they're like, hey, I got 2 tickets this Friday night to see an exclusive premiere of this movie, but I'm not going to tell you anything about the movie. Will you go see it with me?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I assumed that was the case.
It
But
doesn't
that's
seem-
not the one that's
seems
challenging.
pretty harmless so far.
Patrick says, okay, great. I'll meet you there, but don't go into the lobby of the movie theater. Meet me in the alleyway behind.
Nice.
Okay.
And he says, wear your nicest clothes, like dress up a bit if you can.
Ooh.
You still in?
Sure. I don't know why I need to dress up. Maybe it's a premiere. Maybe it's a movie
Right.
that I am unknowingly in.
It's a You've Been Truman showed.
Yeah, and he wants to
It's not
show
a
me
bad
the
idea.
premiere of this movie, which
That's why you can't tell you.
is scary and weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, sure.
Meet him in the alley.
Meeting people in alleys
Yeah.
is questionable,
Yeah,
but
and it sure
I
is.
feel like I could run away if I really needed to.
So you get dressed up in your finest and you meet him in this alley, and he waves from his car. He gets out and he's like, hey, I'm glad you made it. I was a little worried that you might not. You turn with him to see the theater that is, it's kind of like a speakeasy sort of theater where like
What?
there's just it's a very unassuming building, and then there's like one little door that has a red light over it that like he's like, that's where we gotta go. It seems to have the vibe of an underground movie theater. Like, it's not, you have not gone to the AMC Rosedale. You have gone to a small screening room of some kind.
The entrance to the theater is in the alley, and it's just illuminated by a red light.
Yeah.
I'm already verging on saying no.
Yeah. And so Patrick turns to you and he says, I'm really glad you made it. We got to go in that door. I'm so pumped. And as you start walking towards the door, he's like, I hear there are so many titties in this one.
I mean, that would seem to be out of character with the person you described earlier,
Right. But
given
you don't
that
know him
they're
super well.
Yeah, but I guess like if I'm becoming friends with them, I would not want to start to become friends
Right.
with someone who is going to say something like
Right.
that. So,
But maybe you've only hung out a couple times and you've enjoyed the board games you've played and they haven't said any problematic things until this point. That's what we have to assume.
well, I mean, but I'm also assuming that adult Mike is in this scenario,
Yeah.
and I'm already don't have enough time for my friends that I love and cherish deeply. And so for me to invest in a new friendship, like you described I was doing, I would have hopefully vetted them to the point where a comment like that would seem to be out of place.
Sure. You've only hung out a couple times.
Yeah.
And you haven't really had conversations,
Yeah.
but you think they seem cool. And this is the first red flag of like, I don't know about this.
That's a gross thing to say.
Sure is.
But there are perfectly fine movies with nudity in them. So like, I'm just going to be like, I guess I'll go with, even though it seems like he's just taking me to a porn movie, I guess. But like, I guess I'll just leave. I mean, I've left movies before. I've never left a movie because I was offended, but because I was like not feeling well or something.
Sure.
But
Right.
again, like I'm at the point in my life where if I really am not into something, I will just leave.
Yeah.
And so given that is creepy, but to the me that's in the scenario, like me outside of it, I know you guys are going to make like death monsters come and try to eat me from the screen. But me so far in the scenario, I'd be like, that's a creepy thing to say, but I am curious about what you
wouldn't
want to go
leave.
see.
You wouldn't be like, that's enough. I'm leaving
like
now.
yeah.
So you enter through the door with the red light above it, and it's like pretty nice inside.
Okay,
like,
good.
It's like mahogany and like it's very classy. There's like chandeliers, low lighting, and like soft music playing. It's like you're right away like, whoa, this is pretty cool. And there's a lot of well-dressed men.
Okay.
Just kind of hanging out, having a drink at the bar. And then there's this area where they're kind of congregating like a line, kind of like they're going to enter the space to see the movie, you presume. So you guys drift over that way, and a man walks up and says, do we have your paperwork yet?
Oh.
And Patrick says, like, no, can we get our copies now? So he hands you each some forms to fill out. They're like it's not like social security number type stuff. It's just kind of like demographics. But then there are some questions about like, can you handle, like, do you have any like fears or anxieties around like seeing these types of scenarios on screen? And it lists like some pretty generic like horror movie or like action movie type things, like like scenes with violence in a battle or scenes with exorcisms or, you know, that kind of thing. Things that like to you are pretty like, yeah, I can handle that. You like scary movies. Do you continue? Do you fill out these forms? And
yeah, like that actually eases my mind more because like
Right.
I was like David was describing basically like a snuff film showing.
Yeah.
And this is making it a lot more like official and seems more organized, which isn't to say that it's going to be
Right.
Forms
Anyone
are
can
comforting.
form.
but
But they're asking for your
you
consent.
said a well-dressed man too. Like it's not just like a creepy person.
He could be creepy.
Can I ask a couple clarifying questions?
yes, please.
What are there other people there?
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
lots
lots
of
of
dressed
other
men.
well-dressed men.
They're all men though?
Yes,
Oh, you said they're all men. So that makes me worried.
Yeah.
as it should.
But yes. But yeah, I'm still curious though.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So you receive your tickets from this well-dressed, maybe creepy, maybe not man. It's hard to know.
Yeah.
And you enter the theater, and the theater is nice. It's got good seating. The seats are fine. It's a dark room with a screen.
Okay.
It's not ramshackle. It's clearly there's a decent sound system and all that. But it is like underground, so it's not huge.
Okay.
It's not cavernous. And you sit down with Patrick, and Patrick's like getting amped, and he's like, oh man, I hope you're ready. I've heard this is just a wild ride. He's so excited.
So he's like toning it down from what he said earlier. Now he's saying wild ride.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, he's just saying a different thing that he's
Okay.
interested in.
Okay.
He likes titties and he likes wild ride.
Okay.
He kind of sucks.
It's okay to like wild rides.
That's true. No, no, I'm done
I like
with that.
Mr. Toad's wild ride.
Oh, I hope it's just that.
I hope it's a movie.
So
of
the
that.
movie is a person riding Mr. Toad's wild ride. that is it.
I'm out. That ride terrified me though. When I was a kid, I hated that ride.
Oh no. Okay, great. So you sit down and the lights go off and a person comes up from behind the screen. So they're like kind of silhouetted. They're backlit and you can see through the screen, but you can't see their face.
So they're not in front of the
So
screen.
they're not in front of the screen. They're behind the screen. You're just seeing their shadow.
Okay.
It's like shadow stuff. And a voice starts talking to you and it says, during this showing, there will be bits of interactivity. Do not be alarmed.
Okay.
And it gives, a very professional sounding sort of, here is a warning to anybody that might be afraid of loud noises or being touched. And then that person goes away and the movie starts. And it seems like pretty much like a campy horror movie. It's kind of fun.
A horror movie.
Yeah, it's a horror movie. For
Okay.
sure. But then there's this scene with a bunch of spiders in it.
Okay.
And there's a person sleeping and the spiders are starting to crawl all over that person's body and you feel something really weird on your leg and there are spiders all over the ground and are climbing up everyone's body in the theater.
I mean, I loved the Muppets 4D at Universal Studios. I think it was Universal.
Yeah.
And there was a moment in that where it was the fourth dimension was the interactive stuff where like flowers would spray you with water and
Right,
there'd be
yeah,
a spray.
yeah. It's
and
like that.
It ended with like rats getting loose in the theater and there was like a little tail that would come out from under the seat and like tickle your legs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it freaked people out. It was great. But what you're describing is
It's
actual
like that, but,
spiders loose in the theater.
Amped.
which
Yeah.
I'm going to leave
Yeah.
for. Like, I love that you were skipping over that. Like, I was going to accept that because, like, I got used to spiders living in a basement apartment that got a variety of them,
Yeah.
but I don't like them. And if they're like
I don't like
interactivity
'em.
is one thing, like a fake spider feel would be creepy. But if there's actual spiders in the theater, like that doesn't
They're
seem.
real.
I'm already like thinking this is some sort of weird like murder scenario, given this all these dudes like wanting to see gross, lascivious things, or at least what's my friend's name? Brandon
Patrick. I don't know.
whatever.
Brandon Patrick.
I think I would be out when I saw that there was actual spiders.
Yeah, that'd
like
be the deal breaker.
yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of horror movies, and that's exactly how one starts. And so I would
Yeah.
leave. It's probably
People
already
go to-
too late for me.
Okay, so you are like rushing out and kind of like shake the spiders off your legs as you go. And you get into the hallway outside of the theater. This old guy is standing there, and he's also dressed quite nice. He's wearing sunglasses, even though it's quite dark inside.
Sure.
And he has a cane, and there's a red jewel at the top of the cane.
Great.
Good.
And he says, "Oh, you're leaving so soon." And you're like, "Yeah, there's spiders everywhere. I'm not doing this. That's disgusting." And he says, "We would never put any of you in a situation that would actually harm you. This has all been tested and it's perfectly safe." You're like, "I don't know really what you're talking about, but I'm not into that." He has like a very calming aura about him, and he smiles very kindly, warmly at you. And he says, "You can do whatever you want to do, but if you leave now, you can never come back. And you won't be a member."
A member. I mean, I don't, at this point in my life, I don't need to be a member of a club that's all men. I mean, I'm all for experimental stuff in movies. I love William Castle, love the skeletons whizzing over the audience. And by whizzing, I mean they just moved quickly.
I know.
Skeletons
I know. They can't
were not
pee.
peeing. I love that stuff. But like, I was already feeling uneasy given to the nature of the theater and the clientele. So I think I'm just going to leave.
Yeah.
There's plenty of other movie clubs I can be part of.
That's true. He yells after you. But Michael, he's like, I'm picturing the guy from Jurassic Park,
Sure.
basically, but with like a red stone instead of amber. And he's like coming after you. What's that guy's name? Richard Attenborough. That actor. He's hobbling right behind you. He's like, but Mike, you get free pizza for life.
Then I would say you were so obsessed with putting live spiders in a movie that you didn't think if you should. Wait, I said that wrong. Anyway, wait, take two.
Spider Park.
You were so obsessed with putting. Wait, hold on. Take three.
I think you said
You were
it
so
right.
obsessed with if you could put live spiders
There you
in a
go.
movie theater that you didn't think whether or not you should.
You're turning down free pizza for life?
I can have
Yeah.
pizza. It's not that hard to get pizza.
That's fair.
That's true. So as you leave the theater, you it turns out there's like more pageantry happening in the movie, and like there's actual guns being fired
Yes.
in there
It's disturbing.
while the guns are shot on the screen. So like you
Okay.
probably made the right
Oh,
choice.
thanks for affirming our
Yeah,
decision.
no problem.
I really wanted to get to a point where I could say that someone comes and offers you like a big golden ring with like boobs and a gun on it.
Gross. On the Hypotheticast, we have another segment that we call If I Were You, where we talk about things we would do or see or think if we were you. I'm going to go first. I like to be on theme, and I'm going to go a little more abstract here. This is a behavior that I'm recommending.
Yes.
And I hope I don't dabble too much into old fogeyism, but I'm going to say, kids, put down your phones when you watch movies. Specifically, I mean, part of the magic of the movie theater, and this is something that I feel justified in saying it because I'm not ranting about others, but myself included. Going to the movie theater is a lot of fun, big screen, fun times, but it also makes you just watch the movie. When you watch a movie at home, like, you're surrounded by your phone and you can pause the movie and go to the bathroom, which is convenient. But I feel like in a movie theater, your only activity is to look at this big screen and watch the movie. So whether it's a big action movie, a small character drama, like you are watching that movie in a different environment than you will in your home, and you're getting a different experience out of it. I'm so seduced by just wanting to check email, which then turns into like an hour where I like maybe don't even turn the thing I'm watching off, and I'm just like, oh, I probably didn't miss anything important. And I've had experiences where I'll rewatch that movie and be like, I didn't even see that entire scene. And I feel like it's so cool to just like be like, I'm going to get invested in this, because I really do feel, as someone who's a big fan of movies, like even if a movie is a difficult watch, I mean, or maybe like something that would be like nothing happens in this movie, when you give it your full attention, like you get invested in a way that like you're not going to get if you have other distractions. So that's my recommendation. I hide my phone in another room. I'll put it on a high shelf so that like psychically I know that it's too far away for me to just grab and look at.
Yeah.
And then I'll end up just like watching the movie. And I'm like, oh, that was actually a good idea. I didn't think, I should see if any of my friends are saying anything funny. Like I just watched a movie. Like I think that's that weird practice of just hiding my phone from myself.
It works.
Actually kind of worked.
Yeah.
Okay. Rant over.
Look at a movie. If I were you, I would look at the art of Chris Van Allsburg. I just love that guy. He is a visual artist. He does very evocative, usually black and white, but sometimes color paintings, drawings, sometimes ink, sometimes pencil. But they really have amazing textures, and they put you in this magical realist space a lot of the time. He's very good at that. He will include strange elements in very plain looking drawings that are peaceful or pastoral in some way. I think the way that he draws stuff is beautiful, and just Google him, or you can like go to a bookstore, and he has made a lot of kids' books that have beautiful illustrations, and you could just pick one up. Chris Van Allsburg.
If I were you, if you use Instagram, which you should, because it's, I think, the least toxic social media option, you should take the time to find a handful of artists that you like and follow them. It's not something that I initially thought about when I started on Instagram, but I find that especially if I avoid following people or things that don't bring me joy, even if I feel like I should follow them, specifically trying to follow things that I will find joyful and aesthetically pleasing, I think really enhances the experience and makes it just like a richer cultural experience than just scrolling through like Facebook or Twitter. I don't know if this isn't going to be everybody's taste, but like one that I frequently just like really love. I follow this woman. Her Instagram is Ann Street Studio. All one word, ANN Street Studio. And she's a photographer who moved to Provence, France. But she does like still life photography, like with plants or food, which sounds like not very exciting. But not only are the photos like crazy beautiful, but then in her story she shows how she does it.
Oh, cool.
So she shows like the setting up, and she always takes like a little dead bug that she'll like pin on it, and how she makes like the droplets of water, and how she sets up the lights and stuff, and it's so fascinating and beautiful. So go follow some artists, maybe that one, but maybe just whatever kind of artist you like.
Yeah, how nice.
Okay, friends,
Okay.
do you like listener participation throughout the week? Do you want more hypothetical questions than all the ones you just heard? Well, if the answer to either of those questions is yes, you should follow us on various social medias. Facebook at Hypotheticast, Twitter at Hypotheticast, Instagram, we are Hypotheticast_IG. You could also join our super fun and selective Facebook group, the Hypotheticast Fan Collaboratory. You get more of us, more questions, and more options for you to participate in conversations with us. If you'd like to submit something like a theme idea, or you have a question, or you just want to give us a nice compliment, you can reach us on Gmail, hypotheticast@gmail.com, or on our website, hypotheticast.club. You can listen to the podcast there. You could also contact us.
Yeah, you can also leave a review for us on iTunes or any podcast app that you listen to podcasts with. Long ago, in the mists of time, Facebook reminded me, actually it was 2 years ago, that I made the commitment that if we got 100 reviews on iTunes, I would be tattooing, well, this is a temporary tattoo, but I would render in art the VHS cover of the movie Fern Gully, the basis for one of our early episodes of Would You Blanket. It would be on my face. I will do that for a whole day. Once we get 100 reviews on iTunes, I don't know what we're at right now.
33.
Oh, 33.
Exactly
We're a third of the way there. Okay. If you review us to your friends by saying, hey, this podcast is cool, that's great. If we get some sort of concrete proof of that, if you want to send a video of you talking about Hypothecast with your friends, let us know.
Thank you to Jaden James and The Hunger for their song Killing It from their album Raw. I love it. Thank you to Christian Hagen for designing our logo. I also love that. And thank you very sincerely from me and from Mike and Emily, probably, I assume, to you, the listener, because you submitted all sorts of questions this week. We had a great glut to pick from. It was awesome. And thank you for listening and for commenting and for engaging on social media and doing Facebook stuff. We appreciate you because, like, it's the reason we do the show. It's fun to talk to you about stuff. Cool. Keep being cool. Bye.
We have one more segment. I remembered it. It's called No Questions Asked. And it is a segment where I will ask one question and you two have to answer it. And that's all you can do. Quick answer, and then we're done.
Got it.
This question's from Phil Hilla. Would you rather not be able to see your arms or not be able to see your legs? You still have them, you just can't see them.
Legs.
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 Thanks for listening, everyone. See you later.
Bye. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm marching, marching, 'cause I'm killing it. I'm killing it. I'm killing it. I'm killing it.
This woman that I'm Facebook friends with, she has 2 kids and they're hilarious. And I don't know where this came from. She just posted this on Facebook. The Nunja Tittles. As imagined by Orion, who is her son, who's like 4 or 5. And then this is what it says. Neolardo, who wants ravioli? I don't make pizza. Michael Vangello, ready for some uncooked beans? Frat guy grills. I've got fries and grape juice.
Frat guy.
The purple one. I'm a regular guy. And then Sensei Goo, who wants some cat hair?